Hey everybody, this is a grumpy old guy gaming. Back with the second half of the video from last week. You saw perhaps Wednesday I uploaded the first half, the run we did with Kakita Ren and Gambit. Well, now we're back with Gambit. This is in the Shining Darkness server. And I've switched to my Blade Master, and we're picking out keywords here. I'm doing my best to, be a little overly ambitious, kind of shoot for the moon. I know Gambit's got Sora's blades, and at the time I think I was level 69 still. I was fairly high up there, and thought we could, go for a level 72 board. It was a bit over his reach, and a bit over my reach, but I thought maybe, just maybe, we could do it. By the way, in case I forgot to mention it, happy Fragment Friday. I totally forgot to mention it, my apologies. So we're going to Future's Fantastic Guardioloo, and it's a dark and stormy night. See thunder flashing in the background, rain overhead. Kind of a nice look, actually. Going ahead, getting our speed buffs up here. Whole ton of portals. Do want to get this out there now. If you are looking to set up .hack Fragment, if you know somebody who's looking to get into the game, check out .hack.org, the .hack network. Erroneous has put together a wonderful guide for how to set it up and is updating and streamlining it for 2021. First combat here is against an Aurora Feather, which is one of the coolest monster designs I've seen recently. Coming up into these higher level monsters, you see some really wicked things. And this sort of magical beast that is part peacock and part person. Just crazy looking. Believe if you look back at some of the holiday events, one of these may be seen in one of those videos. I know it's definitely not the first time I've seen them, especially not in Fragment. Here Gambit was nice enough to put the Aurora Feather to sleep, and we make short work of it from that point on. Just under 6,000 hit points. You can see he got 28 experience there, and I picked up 9 myself. So the field starts out really, really well. Got Maniac Sword equipped. Nice little life stealer. Here comes another Aurora Feather. One great thing about large enemies is you could sort of get on all sides of them, and unless they're casting a spell, they're probably only hitting one of you, so I've got more than enough defense to tank this, especially with the occasional life drain. Now I am kind of fixated on the life drain at this moment, and it may be detrimental to my overall damage because I'm just hitting my basic attack, spamming that circle button like it's the only button on the controller. We're making our way through though. Gambit certainly going out of their way to vary up their damage between physical attacks, then backing off for spells. Using that Twin Blade's utility to its fullest. Nice enough to pop a heal there, make sure we stay in good shape. Meanwhile, I'm kind of a schmuck here. I'm just keep mashing that circle button. Make it through there. Next portal out has some of my least favorite things on the planet, the maidens, and instantly we are put right to sleep. Also, that three-headed snake typically has the charm ability attached to it. You can see we both kind of said, uh-oh. We sort of see where this is going. Gambit gets charmed. I am stuck in spell after spell, just trying to run away. Keep him up to speed. There I've got a maiden cornered, and I get put to sleep before I can reach it. Gambit now in critical health. And I can't do jack. In serious trouble at this point. Maybe we'll make it out of this. He goes, maybe run! Yeah, should have probably ran, not gonna lie. Did get him revived. Kind of just zoned into the battle. Nice enough to throw a restorative my way, but to no avail. By the time the Juke Zot has let go of me, I am once again asleep. And that health is just getting nowhere for me. I do finally get away enough to heal, but Gambit is down again. And with me being incapacitated and him being flatlined, we all know where this is going. Lucky death number 572,411, give or take a few. Get the old level down, not so bad a thing for me, it's happened before, it will happen again. Personally, I do feel bad that I cost Doran the level, as I typically do in party. Get back to town though, and it's time to regroup. Take a moment to apologize, that is definitely on me. 100%. I'm the one who chose the field, and I'm the one who didn't call off the attack right away. We should have ran away as soon as we noticed what we were getting into. 100% my fault. That said, where there is a character death or a party wipe, there is an opportunity to go back and try and get that level back. And that is 100% where I'm at here. Kind of throw the suggestion out, see if they're willing to run another one. Yeah, I'm halfway to the next level at this point. Probably not go for the exact same field. Safe to say that's going to end in futility, as you're just going to run into that mob again. He suggests something in the mid-60s, and I'm fully on board with that. I think 72 was just a little out of reach. So I go back into the big book of previously traveled places. A couple of these got a little elevated as the server leveled. Yeah, definitely wasn't going back to that level 72. Got a couple of 80s there. Everything at this point was either super high level or super low. So eventually I just kind of scrap it. Decide to go for a new keyword. Not gonna lie, I'm watching along right with you as I'm recording this, because this is a little over a week old on the footage, and I hit my head a lot. Certain parts of the old memory just don't fire off like they used to. So let's see what keywords I come up with. Got rocketing, golden. Golden's a pretty popular keyword. You can find it in a couple servers. It's here in Shining Darkness. Also a pretty potent keyword in the Mackerel server. Got rocketing, golden, lollygagger. That's level 64 Firefield, and it seems to be the selection. So yeah, rocketing golden lollygagger. It's not often you find a lollygagger in the wild these days, and definitely not often you describe them as either rocketing or golden. Going in, and it's a nice day in the desert. Level 64 field, and we are ambushed by all kind of undead voodoo. These guys are the suck. They could paralyze, they've got the death strike attack, and they're joined by, that is either a time visitor or a dejected. I'm going to say dejected. They're the same monster, just, yeah, dejected is the fire type, a little bit stronger. Time visitor is a little bit weaker and water type. Really cool design to that monster though, got some real great sci-fi vibes on that. Do get through, Gambit picks up 22 experience for the dejected. Important we took care of that one first, because much like the Menhir, the dejected can revive fallen monsters. So now the goal is to get in close to these undead voodoo and get to a situation where we've kind of got them spaced out, maybe isolate one or two. Gambit gets stuck, paralyzed, and they all gang up on him. Gets paralyzed again. I made a brief run in, and when I saw things were not working out so well, sort of skedaddled a bit. Now just picking my spots in and out. Poor Gambit gets paralyzed, I think 3 or 4 times over the course of this whole ordeal. Got all kind of life drain there. That was, what, 3 hits in a row that gave me life drain? Safe to say I was full health by the end of that sequence. Gets 1 hit knocked out, but there's plenty of life left in that undead voodoo, so we have enough time to bring him back, and he repays in kind. That Sora's Blades triggering off and taking out a huge chunk of that 3rd undead voodoo. At this point, we've survived a 4-monster ambush and finally have enough time to take a breath and pop a fairy's orb. Now, as it is a beautiful, bright, sunshiny day in the desert, you can tell that the grunty food of the field is going to be an oh no melon. Man, it is a thing of beauty to see that death touch trigger off a party member. See him joke 2 could play at that game. Sora's Blades, very popular twin blade equipment, 1 for dot hack fans and 2 because it's a mechanically beautiful piece of equipment in this game, and Gambit is putting them to excellent effect here. We are taking these things out like they are made of tissue paper, in large part due to his contributions. Meanwhile, that allows me to sit there with the Maniac Sword and its lifesteal ability and sort of be the tankier option here. 2 dejected and an undead voodoo. I get hit with all the fire and just barely hold on thanks to lucky timing on a healing elixir. I back up a bit more than a bit. Again, you kind of want to isolate the dejecteds. You don't want them beside each other because then all your work is essentially for nothing. Gambit got stuck back in combat though, as they didn't really seem too keen on following me. Eventually I do get the mob's attention. Gambit goes down again, take a moment to revive, take out the undead voodoo, and as you can see, the dejected's got it back on its feet before anyone knows any less. At this point, this combat's going far longer than we would hope, but that's no reason to stop. In fact, it's all the more reason to continue, make it through, and make this a net positive. Had a dejected fallen until it wasn't, and the cycle continues. It's literally become a cat and mouse game at this point as we are running away. The hope is, again, to get a couple monsters to tail off in another direction and just keep one, preferably one of the dejected, trailing you. That way you could finish it while it's out of range of being revived and go back and just treat the mob like a normal monster mob. Another thing you have to remember is your position on that mini-map up there. You don't want to run wildly in one direction to the point where you trigger another portal and just make it worse. Go ahead, give Gambit a speed boost here, let them get away. Moving down, trying to slot ourselves in between those 2 portals there. And just little by little, again, eventually you know the monsters will get bored and trail off. There's our line in the sand, so to speak. Gambit takes the moment to, just throw a fire spell out on a couple of them. It's only hitting the undead voodoo, as the dejected are fire tolerant. Gambit gets paralyzed again, make our way through, kill the undead voodoo, which once again revives. Just a crazy mini marathon developing out of this poor combat. Got a dejected fairly low on hit points there. This is also a really great time if you have one of the elemental summons at your disposal to get everything to about half health and just finish them off simultaneously so there's no revivification shenanigans. Hopefully I said that correctly, or at least in an amusingly messed up fashion. Still 2 dejected, still 1 undead voodoo, still 2 very exhausted heroes who are depleting their resources as though it were the name of the game. Dot hack resource management. Don't ask me how I didn't die there. That was as close as I can recall it getting. It may get closer later, but that one seems like the closest shave possible. Eventually get a dejected to fall, start hacking away at the other, and yes, we finally get one down. It can be done. Whether by sheer dumb luck or the dejected going for an attack, we managed to break the cycle. We're through, we get the other dejected to fall, and now it's just 2 heroes on an undead voodoo. The odds are ever in our favor there. Gambit saying what we're all thinking. Those guys do suck. I once again forgot that the apostrophe is in a different location. I think someone said there's a way to change that in the options. I'll have to double check. Get the lovers out of that chest certainly seems like a fair payoff, doesn't it? And here comes my favorite combination of primate and augur. It's the Earthman drill. Completely physically tolerant. Not a big fan of trying to waste Knight's Banes on these guys. They're a pretty low percentage of success. So instead I just sort of stand back and juke Zot as though my life depended on it. Gambit also joining in the casting fun. But of course, we can't enjoy ourselves too much. We were dangerously close to making progress, so a dejected popped up to remind us that even if we spent all of our magical resources on killing the Earthman drill, it would probably just pop up with full hit points again. So now we're just trying to lure it to a place where we can attack the Earthman drill from a safe distance and get the dejected to just go away. I'm having the worst luck with the shortcuts at that point. I've got to remember to hit that shoulder button before the face button. Kind of making our way through. That Earthman drill is really tearing us up at this point. We do have it under half though. I think it's something around 1,000 hit points. If you could get it about to there, it starts trying to heal. I think it has the effect of Ol Rep. Yeah, here we go. Yep, Ol Rep. It healed for 400, and that's just not going to be enough to sustain it against 2 casters. Finally get it down. I get a grand 1 experience, but Gambit gets 28, and given the struggle he had with that spell damage, more than well earned. Making our way to that portal right in the water droplet's mouth, the little spring of mist symbol seems to be chewing on that portal if you looked at the mini-map. Make our way over, grab Aptor, the best boost in the game for a physical class. Ups that physical accuracy, because no matter how much damage you could potentially do, it's a 0 unless it connects. More fun and adventures with Undead Voodoo and Dejected. Going to take this moment to also mention the Discord channels for the dot hackers who may find this video entertaining, amusing, informative, or just flat out a good way to waste a few minutes. Dot Hack Network has their own Discord, very vibrant, active server, several channels to cover just about all of your dot hack needs. And if you're looking for something a little more fragment-centric, I would suggest you check out NetSlum, the official server for the NetSlum lobby server. Both the lobby server's website and the Discords I mentioned will be linked down below, as well as the How to Play Fragment guide from Dot Hack Network. I like putting those out there because they're very useful links, and I do hope they help people. And also because having them there means I really don't have to type a description for this. And once I'm done recording, I'm done talking about the video. I do gotta love it. Even a frustrating Fragment run, you gotta love, because it's .hack Fragment. It's the game that was too good for us, and here it is for us to enjoy at our leisure. Really a prize, especially, you know, the world's not sure whether we're coming or going. Things get stressful, you come in, you party up, and you hack some things. I'd say you cut the head off an undead voodoo, but character design kinda beat us to that, didn't it? I mean, there's something there above the shoulders. Kinda looks like a stump. Get through that portal. If it seems like we've been in this field a long time, we've been in this field a long time. On the bright side, it's been a productive time, and Gambit just 80 experience off getting that level back. Here's another Earthman drill. Fortunately, no resurrection specialist flying over the shoulder at this point. So we're just banging away on this thing. Looks like he's casting something in the Rejuve Cruise line. Guessing Rejuve Cruise off of the damage on the elemental hit and the animation. I could be wrong, but that seems about right, with the tree branches converging. And I am casting Rejuve Zod, I believe. I think it's still currently my spell on my Blade Master. Served me well. I'm in that area where I'm facing a lot of Earthman drills, so having a wood spell on hand is really, really helpful. Did pick up a new sword though, not in this video. But if I'm able to do some live running tomorrow, well, I guess this evening as you're watching this, on Friday for Fragment Friday, come on down to the NetSlum server and check it out. There's usually, Spooky's usually live streaming. We had Dowd doing some streaming from a pretty cool VR setup last week. There's always something fun going on Fragment Friday. Even if you just want to join in the action, there's always a group or two hopping about. The servers are all up, and just a great time to join a virtual block party there and chill out with some fellow hackers. Moving to the last, well, we've got a few portals here. We've got two close together, and then one was way at the bottom of the screen there, now appearing at the very top. More dejected. Just an insane amount of these things. It's about as gross as this sort of thing can get. Fortunately, Gambit was able to draw out the dejected. We were able to isolate it for a while and take it down without too much of a hassle. Saw the undead voodoo interjecting a little bit, paralyzing Gambit, who was quick enough to back off when the situation started getting hairier. I jumped in and did my tanky best. Make it through. Now just two portals remain on this field. Touched up the shave that I started when we first entered this field. Again, it's been a while. Gambit, a bold Gambit right there, I must say. Hung in there close and managed to get one of the dejected's charmed. Nice way to earn that level up. Bit of tactical gameplay there. Would like to point out that you have to deal damage online to get experience. You don't have to kill the monster or do the majority of the damage. You just need to land 1 point of damage. So charm spells and sleep spells help, but make sure you get that point of damage on as well. Don't just think, you know, paralyzing it is enough. open our final field portal, and it's an Earthman drill, and one we are just starting the casting off early. Nothing like playing magic games with a giant monkey. At this point, I am willing to say that Gambit's favorite monster in Dot Hack Fragment is not going to be the Earthman drill. If you see Doran on Discord, you might want to ask him, or you might not. Either way, we do take it down in resounding fashion, a pair of elemental hits. Thank him for the help there, and it is Grunty time, jumping on the old stalwart, the noble Grunty. He noticed I only got one experience for that thing. Oh, that's higher levels for you. I was warned about it as I was leveling up, and I certainly haven't hit that elite tier yet. I touched level 70, but didn't do much with it but leveled back down. You get higher up there, less and less things are going to give you that tangible experience. You're going to find things that could rip your head off only give you one, which means you got to go through about 900 of them to level. 1,000 if they're all technically giving you one, but you get the point. It's brutal, but it's a good brutal. I'm working my way back to 70. I'd like to maintain 70 a little higher. Otherwise, I've got to start a series called Learning to Die a lot more frequently, and nobody wants that. Or maybe you do, who am I to judge? Finally making our way into the dungeon now. Notice a bit of an elongated pause there. Anytime that happens, I'm usually a bit worried. I think that was just a bit of a... Well, I'm not even going to try and be technical. I think the server was just a little bit hiccupy at that point. But either way, it loaded smooth, and we are into the dungeon. First couple rooms are a refreshing breather. Mostly empty. Gonna go down the side passage here. Got a couple more small rooms, all before our first portal. Pick up the moon out of that chest. Couple breakable objects in here, but nothing really to speak of. Don't hear the eggs typical bouncing, so you know this room is about as empty gets. And here we have a little minor treasure room, some breakable items, and a couple treasure chests. Just going after the eggs, pick up an antidote, some stealth blades out of the chest. And back this way we go. A little bit of backtracking before we get on track. Track is a weird word to have in twice. I know technically the first one, I'm obsessing, I apologize. Moving into an L-shaped room here, we have a bee commando. Speaking of enemies I am not a big fan of, as you can see, the bee commando hits about 5 or 6 times and has the death touch ability. Pretty high probability anytime it physically attacks you that you are going to be left at under 100 hit points. These things have probably drained more healing elixirs than I had bought in a month. Fortunately, having 2 people means you have twice the fun going at the thing. Unfortunately, it's also one of those monsters with a ridiculous level of physical evasion. So you saw at the end I just sort of juke-zotted it out of the sky. Because if my sword can't hit it, a giant tree erupting suddenly out of the ground has a pretty good chance. See, it just keeps hitting me with that death touch ability. I'm hanging on, but I'm not too happy about it. Get some life drain, and that's really more academic. Gambit that time takes the brunt of it. One thing I will say as you get to these higher levels and you see a bunch of monsters with death touch, you really realize that the numbers for your hit point total are an abstract thing. They are not concrete, they are not very tangible. Because any number of things, the undead voodoo, the bee commandos, can take you from almost 1500 hit points to 50 in one shot. So keep an eye on things and don't just mindlessly mash buttons. I know the last time I said that, I depleted an entire cache of healing potions by continuously, mindlessly mashing a button. But it is worth keeping on the alert, and when you see the enemy go into its attack animation, get ready for that healing item. Reflexive gameplay can save you in instances like that. Here we get a really good jump on the B commandos, no death touch proc, and they are down before you know it. Quality combat there, and we're making our way through this second floor, just a little sort of diagonal W, straight line as it gets. Portal in the middle of this 5-room floor has a treasure chest in it, so we move to our third straight L bend, and it's another treasure chest yielding portal. Happy to get that after the adventure that was the field, and the previous field for that matter. That was the breather we very much needed. Moving to the third floor here, see the stairs down pretty much even with us. Just on the opposite side there. Got a little bit of work to do directly beneath us before heading to the right and taking that path. So first things first, we've got a sideways T room and a B commando to strike at. They can also poison, I forgot to mention that. Took the death touch attack, but rather late in its attack cycle, so I was still around 500 hit points. Make it through, got some help getting healed up, and we are into the next room. Very long room, couple little wings to it there. See a treasure chest hiding in the one, and then a portal right at the head of the room, where we find ourselves a spin figure. Giant top of doom with drill bits for arms. Kind of thing that just screams boss monster. You can see it's thunder tolerant, so darkness element attacks are the plan of action. Just so happens that the maniac sword happens to have a darkness attack. Got a treasure chest up here. I pick up a Hellstorm. Making our way back through, checking out that wing that I had passed on the way in. Sometimes there's a golden egg or something there. That one was completely empty. Now heading sideways here, going to the right. Could hear the Discord firing off in the back of the track. Don't know if that's loud enough to stay in. But I typically have the Discord open when running, just to see what else is up with people, how everybody's doing. I think that day I was also sending some infrequent messages to Emus about the evil things his server was doing. All in good fun, of course. Get through a combat with another spin figure. And into a little treasure room. This one looks dangerously like the end statue room, but we already knew there were stairs down to the next floor, so that could not be the end. Got a room here with a napping giant who perhaps stayed a little too long before taking the stairs down to floor number 4. Here on the 4th floor. As you know, the monster list will vary a little from floor to floor. Sorry, getting tongue-tied there on my F words. All the while avoiding the fun one. Very tiny floor, this floor number 4. Ah! Get some Dark Gurus here. They're dropping skulls. Gambit gets a hit in, and I close in to finish the job. Good teamwork on that one. So yeah, you'll see within a similar suite of monsters, but you will see variations, especially as you get to lower levels of the same dungeon. Gambit nice enough to leave me that treasure chest, so I pick it up and am rewarded with another set of stealth blades. Moving down a long corridor, bit of a dead ender. Got a couple Dark Gurus here. Make sure we each get a hit in on that. Worth 1 to me, worth 11 to Gambit. So great to see that Death Touch proc. When somebody's wearing Swor's Blades and they strike a monster, dying isn't a status, it's a promise. That monster is more than likely gone before it knows it. Also really helpful at higher level fields because again, you're facing things sometimes with 5,000-6,000 hit points. Being able to take out a good chunk of that on one strike, sign me up. Floor number 5 now. Pop the Fairy's Orb. It looks to be a smaller floor again. We're kind of lucking out in that regard. Gambit already got his level back, and I'm making some good progress myself here. Most importantly, it's been a fairly safe run for us after that perilous field and, downright devastating previous field. Here we've got our buddy the Dejected back, joining a couple Dark Gurus, and my focus is on the Dejected to get it out of the way, rather than having to sit there and play hot potato with the Dark Gurus every time they get revived. Now that they're gone, we go ahead and split them up between the two of us. Looks like Gambit got a hit on both. So excellent experience for them there, and we get through that combat silky smooth. Actually a lot smoother than my commentary, so bonus there. Backtrack a little through this square-shaped room. Both do our best to ignore the golden egg bouncing away in the corner, and we are heading down to floor 6. Floor number 6 is where we are at. Pop Fairy's Orb and see what's coming up here. Looks like we're going to start things off in one of those wonderful semicircle rooms. There's going to be a portal right at the top of that arch. And Gligon comes out, everybody's favorite wood dragon dinosaur thing of doom. I'm just standing in front of the thing and hacking away like crazy. Gambit's giving a ton of support from the back row there. Equal parts casting destructive magic and healing when my hit points were getting kinda sketchy. I'm picking up 3 experience. Triple my usual yield from a monster here, and that's a quality 28 there. See ourselves skirmishing a little courtesy war, being sure to try and be the most thankful of heroes. Because when you're adventuring, it is important, and this is in all seriousness, showing gratitude to the people who are pulling your backside out of the fire. Definitely would not have done well at all in this field if it wasn't for Gambit between the Death Touch and just boldly striding into areas and giving me a moment to breathe and sort of assess the situation. Very thankful he's playing that crazy twin blade as well as he is. Moving into the next portal, we get a couple Dark Gurus, and we're just going to handle these as one does. Gambit got the finish off there, and already off to a good start. This time we sort of switch positions. I'm throwing some spells from the back, and Gambit gets to attack the Dark Guru. Get ourselves all healed up. Got a couple treasure chests to pick up here. I was about to pop the fortune wire, but Gambit made his way over, and you know what? More than earned it. Generally, I try not to pick up any chests, but again, this was the time my money was a little bit down for my character, and I was just trying to recoup my losses from the dungeon. Happy to say I've been on a couple farming runs since, and managed to rectify the gold situation. At least till I go crazy ambitious trying to level again and blow about 35 healing elixirs in a single field. Make our way through that battle. Couple more portals to wrap up. You can see our treasure room at the bottom there, the statue room, as we are in the final floor. Got another Gligon here. Tough enemy to be certain, but it's one large foe. It doesn't revive. All in all, it's a good thing. Getting good experience against a manageable enemy who could ask for more. Picking up a lot of 215s on these hits. That's pretty solid damage. Get through that battle. Just a couple more rooms to go. Down through the square room, we've got a sideways T and a dead-end corridor before finally finishing off at the statue. Once again, getting our hits in early, making sure we both get in, and letting the life drain sort of carry me here. Not terribly worried about my hit points. Gambit again, more than ample support coverage from the back, and when we get Gligon's hit points low, rushes in and helps me with the finish. One more portal, and it is a pair of Dejected. So ending on a bit of a tactically tricky encounter. Just sort of take it head on. Go after one Dejected, and then try and tie up the second before a revival can take place. We managed to succeed in that regard. Gambit takes a big hit down to 107 hit points, but hangs on. That was an epic last encounter. Made it through, and there's no need to worry at this point. Yeah, he was expecting a revival. I'm not gonna lie, I was too when we first took that down. What I should have done was tried casting there, but we lucked out. We managed to go ahead and finish it. Get to the last chest. And this is a moment where I must confess a moment of personal greed is about to kick in. I offer the statue chest, and he's more than earned it at this point, the treasure within. So I go ahead, say the chest is all yours, but my curiosity is always piqued, and again, I was taking notes here. On the server and what it was yielding. So I asked him what he got, and before I could even get the question out, he says, "Staff of Truth, sounds cool." I'm like, yeah, it does sound nice. Never seen a Staff of Truth, at least not in Fragment. I really wasn't 100% what that was. He points out we need to be careful when we ocarina out in case we get ambushed. Meanwhile, I'm still focused on the staff. So I ask him, and we get the all caps, it's a level 95 staff. And if you've seen any of my recent runs with my Wave Master, it's the one I've currently got equipped. See, I kind of subtly hint about it. And Doran was very nice to pick up on what I was putting down there, and was nice enough to offer it to me. I certainly wasn't going to turn it down. Once again, I do apologize. That is poor decorum on my part. I did want to make sure and trade something of fair value. I still think I owe a little bit. I think it was level 92 item I traded. So next time I trade with Doran, I've got to keep it in mind to sweeten the deal a little bit, throw a little something extra in. In the meantime, I will say that Staff of Truth has done me exceptionally well. You can check out the finale episode, if you so choose, of the Learning to Die Less series to see it in action. In the meantime, this has been a Grumpy Old Guy Gaming, wishing you a happy Fragment Friday. Do take care. Have a good day. Just treat yourself well. It's been tough out there, and just take care of yourself, okay? We'll see you in the next.